Hi, and welcome back to Beyond the First Response. It's Christy Lister here, along with
Ciara Madrid.
How are you today?
I'm good, and you?
Good. It's been a week, hasn't it?
It has.
Yes.
It's feeling a little tingly.
A little tingly, like I'm hearing voices.
Yeah, feeling things. Doors opening. Yeah.
Doors opening, hearing voices. It's that kind of week, folks, which is okay.
It's got to stay on that side of the earth.
Yeah, it's on this side. So, full disclosure, there are odd things that happen in my house frequently, and today's one of those days.
I witnessed it, people. Like
She did.
It was not okay.
We were not recording at the time. Otherwise, then you would have witnessed it.
Yes. And you don't want to, because I was like, no.
Yeah. They do not come through the computer.
They better not.
Anyway, but talking about resiliency, I mean, obviously, I can overcome ghosts in my house.
She is so brave.
Ciara cannot.
No.
But that's okay. That's another podcast. But we were talking actually before we went on, really talking about resiliency and how far we've come and what we can do and what we recognize, not only in ourselves and our kids and people around us, first responders around us, friends, family, coworkers, customers.
Yep.
It was, I had a closing today that took 5 hours when we were done with in half an hour. So learning patience and watching people in that time was very interesting, to say the least. My side went well. That was not the issue. Just to put it out there. That was not the issue.
It's not me. It's the ghost.
It was the ghosts. The ghost of that title company. But resiliency is important, and recognizing that, knowing that regardless of what stressful event does occur, whether it be a traumatic stressful event or a work, an everyday financial stressful kid, family, dealing with people, there are ways to come out of that negative feeling.
Right. You gain the tools to move forward, even if you have to go back later on and go through those emotions again, you still have the tools to get to the other side of it.
Absolutely. And recognizing it, key. You know that you're on the road to healing when you recognize when something is triggering a reaction in you. Yep. It could be a feeling that's just coming up from inside, or hopefully with counseling, you don't quite so knee-jerk react.
Right.
The Karen in me, as my kids would say.
Right. And that's a really hard, as we were speaking before, like learning to not do that knee-jerk reaction when you have something happen to you. And like I said, I was telling you, like I had something happen to me that kind of hurt my feelings with someone, and the knee-jerk reaction was to like be a child again and like say
take your earrings off. Like, let's go.
Yeah. But then it was like, okay, whatever. And I totally will admit, like I made it, not even a post, like a story about it. And because my feelings are still hurt, but I was like, you know what? I deleted it after I think I woke up this morning, because it was like, okay, I have the tools to understand that what happened wasn't healthy, and where I was at in that friendship wasn't healthy. And that goes, and that can be used within workplace, your home, your relationship, even your relationship with your children. And it's learning to recognize it. And it's okay to like not always have the knee-jerk reaction. We have to have some reaction because we're humans. We have emotions, right? So having an emotion to something that hurts you or makes you angry, or whatever the case may be, is okay. But it's having the tools to go, okay, well, it did hurt me, I did have a reaction, but I'm going to move forward and I'm going to do what's right.
You processed it.
Yeah,
you processed it, and you took a deep breath and realized it's not you've grown. And sometimes when you are growing and you've evolved, that traumatic growth, you then become uncomfortable for other people. And it's not
Oh,
that it's you that's uncomfortable, making them uncomfortable. What they're not dealing with inside is what's
right.
making them uncomfortable.
Right. And that's I think did we talk about it? I don't know. I've talked about it, I know, with my therapist, that when you grow, oh no, it wasn't you. I mean, maybe we have, but it wasn't you. It was my friend Vicky. She's also a widow, but not by suicide, but like she's come really far and her healing from losing her husband. That it's weird that once you start healing and growing and changing, the people who can no longer manipulate you, like, automatically start pushing you away, but blame you, like, and they make up, like these stories and these lies, because when you're unhealthy and they can control you and they can manipulate, and like I picture it as, the dolls, the old, where
The
they do
marionettes.
this. Yeah, where I picture it like that, where like that one person could do this to you, but when you're healthy they can't do that to you anymore. So it's learning those tools to like not allow that to happen, and I'm really bad at that. Like when it comes to friends, I'm really bad about that. Like I'm
Right.
really bad about allowing people to control me because I'm a friends. But through the suicide, you really learn who friends are. Like,
That's where I say my give a fuck left.
uh-huh. Oh yeah.
But you find when you stop taking care of yourself or you are moving on to the next healing portion that sometimes it's like climbing a mountain, but you feel like you're not going anywhere. It's taking that step back to see how far you've gone.
Right.
Some of that will creep back just for a little bit,
Oh yeah. Yeah,
just
I
for a
mean,
little bit.
and I think it will always to some
Mhm.
extent. But it's the ever, what it was last week, the Kanai, like the constant never ending improvement, right?
Yes.
So it's okay to like have that, I don't know, what do we want to call it? Like that little, we'll just
Right.
call it a brr.
That
It's okay to
that's
have
your
that.
recognition that you need to step back and take a deep breath and recognize the good in your life
Right. Yeah, because
or the
sometimes,
good and the growth of which that friendship or that relationship can no longer be in your life
mhm,
or that job is no longer who you are.
right.
And even I feel like sometimes even the best part of taking that step back and realizing, looking for the good that you actually are seeing that's cracking through your shield.
Right.
It's coming out, it's glowing. And that's an amazing feeling, even though you don't feel great that day, maybe.
Right. And somebody told me one time, like right after Matt died, like people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime,
Yes.
right? And through growing and healing, like I've looked at that, like I've even like with family members, like, okay, they were in my life for this reason, and I grew out of that season,
Yes.
so to speak, with them. Same with friends. I mean, I've grown out of some seasons with friends. Um, but it's that recognizing that the good. And it's not so much as, because before it was, you need to recognize the good in everybody and like everybody. And no, you don't. You don't have to.
That's
You
a
can recognize
false
the good.
statement that we're taught as
Right.
children.
Yes. And it's okay to recognize the good in somebody, but you also need to be very aware of the not so good,
Right.
because then that's when you get manipulated.
Right. And if you're always looking for that something good, you're missing those red flags or those struggles that they may be having because you are justifying that struggle that you're not recognizing because, but look, they had a good day.
Right. Oh
Look,
yeah,
they
but
had
this was
this.
good. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Which again, folks, that's when you learn to recognize that there are struggles in people. When you find yourself avoiding having that conversation.
Right.
And you can then take a step back, much like Ciara was talking about that she did. She took that step back and realized that this situation is no longer
Serving me.
valid in her life.
Mhm.
Yeah. And if sometimes people don't want to get help, that's they can't say they need help. There's nothing you can do.
Right.
We cannot
Oh,
save
yeah.
everybody. But
No.
what we can do is start having the conversation and maybe teaching them to look for the good,
Right.
to find something good in a moment that, life is just awful.
Right. And
And,
like we can go back like 2 episodes to like what Harry was saying is police officers, they look for the bad, right? They
right.
look for the bad in people, and they're taught that. That's ingrained into them. Like he
Yes.
says, he still sits with his back against the wall facing the door. Like that is ingrained into them because they want to see everything that's coming in because they're taught to read people, so to speak. I mean, but that can change the mentality. That mentality on the police side can change too, because somebody may be bad,
Right.
but their intentions aren't bad, so to
Mhm.
speak, and they're still a good person. So there's a hard line, right, that is there, but everyone's is different also. So you
Right.
have to find that healthy line
Right. And
as
I
I
think,
make a
yes,
weird thing.
the healthy line. But a good example, because I think our first responder kids struggle in general, but more so our first responder kids, especially our kids that have lost a parent to suicide.
Right.
And watching that is one of the hardest things as a parent, but recognizing and helping them draw out a situation where, my daughter has a friend that, so girls are mean anyway, as I'm putting
Right.
it out there. Girls
Uh-huh,
are just
uh-huh.
mean.
They are mean.
But it's this constant push and pull of, I don't want to be your friend anymore.
Hmm.
And so this time around, I asked, I'm like, well, what do you think has changed? I don't know. I said, well, do you think, are they making different choices? Are you making different choices?
Right.
She wouldn't tell me, of course.
Mhm.
And I'm
Right.
trying not to, well, here's what I think.
Right.
Pull a
Because that
chair up
just
and get
goes
some
bleh.
popcorn. Yeah.
Right.
However, take that same thought when something's not working in your life, when you're
Mhm.
struggling with something, that's recognized. You're going to stop and evaluate the pros and the
Right.
cons, and you're going to find the good. You're going to find the bad too, but you're going to recognize the good. And if that good outweighs that bad,
Oh, you're winning.
yeah, exactly. And sometimes it feels like you're not, especially when you get to that boiling point. I've been at that boiling point this week. We've had a lot, we had just a lot of unfortunate things happen this week that
Mhm.
have really affected me a little bit more than I expected.
Right.
And, but the sky is blue.
Right. And the
And
grass is green,
right. And the ghosts are opening the doors. So,
and they're touching your head,
yes,
and they're
I
doing all
mean,
the talking to you.
I am never alone.
I swear, I'm buying you some different sage.
Yeah. At the at the end of the day, and there's a turkey vulture that just flew by
See, we're
in my
recording in separate rooms in Texas.
in my cookie cutter neighborhood. I don't know what's happening right now.
See, people, weird things happen all the time. You find the good in it. What's the good of a turkey vulture? We'll have to Google it.
I know. I'm gonna totally Google that now.
It's a sign
It's a sign.
of a dead girl talking in your ear. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Or roadkill.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. That's probably it.
Yeah.
There's probably a skunk out front.
Yeah. Oh, that's so gross. And there's so many things I can say right there, but I won't.
Yeah, we had that last week.
Yeah. Yeah. But laughter is a good thing to
Right.
recognize. Joking around.
Right.
What are some things? I mean, how do you teach? So, teaching this tool is very difficult because you don't know which way it's going to go and you're not in somebody else's head.
Right.
Giving them niblets of something to think about, words, things that maybe they wouldn't recognize as a positive.
Hmm.
Uh, Yesterday at the funeral I was at, those are never positive, right?
Right. Mm-mm.
But I got to see a friend that I haven't seen for, oh goodness, probably 20 years.
Oh, wow.
She had moved out of town, and every time she came back in town, I was not available. And we finally got to see each other. Not a
Hmm.
place to do it,
Right.
But even
Nevertheless.
right. And even then, just seeing people there for each other
Right.
and the laughs and the conversations about the good times and the amazing adventurous person he was.
Right.
So that's a beautiful thing.
Right.
Does not make it easier at all. I'm not going
No.
to go into the whole thing, but it does not make it easier at all. But it makes you realize that even in death, they want you to find joy.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm sure I don't know for sure, but here, like I know I watched that one show that was on A&E about the EMTs in New Orleans, and they do a full parade when somebody dies in New Orleans. Like it's a tradition.
Right.
And it's not sad. It's a party. It's I forget how, I mean, this was years ago, probably 5 years ago, that I watched that one episode because it was like he was killed and he was a pillar in the community. So like all the EMTs were out there walking in the parade and they videoed it.
Right.
But I'm sure there's plenty of, I don't know how to say it. There's plenty of, not nationalities, plenty of, hello, cultures,
Yes.
plenty of cultures that don't just look at death as this horrible, sad thing. It is a sad thing, obviously, and they probably have their own separate mourning, but then they have like parties and they have ceremonies and they have this thing. And I mean, like I come from a huge family, both sides, my mom and my dad's side. So whenever there was a funeral, there was always a big get together afterwards. And it wasn't like, oh,
It's
you just
called the
sit there and
family reunion.
right. It's a family reunion. I mean, I on my dad's side, I have like 50 something cousins. So it was like when we would all get together for a funeral, it was like we got to catch up and our kids got to see each other because the days of Christmas mornings together was long gone after, like there was
Right.
6 kids here and then 8 kids and 25 kids here. It was just, it was gone. So but so the finding the good in that is that I got to always see my cousins because not always, I should say that there wasn't always somebody dying, but there was always, like, when we did get together, there was always the positive afterwards. There was always something good that came from it. So,
Exactly. And even if they die unexpectedly,
mhm,
you still are going to honor them.
right.
And as you would want to be honored. Although I say when I pass away, so it's changed since I know I'll be cremated. It used to be kids when I die, just throw me in a ditch somewhere. And then when I said, so guys, I'm going to be cremated, I've already, made all those plans, so you don't have to worry.
Mhm.
So then just throw your ashes in a ditch somewhere. I'm like, that's right.
I've told Danica and Tanner, Danica more so because she lives with me, but I don't want, like, I mean, realistically, you get a lot of ashes, right? You can get a whole bunch. So they can they I mean, you get a big old box. Like, and if you don't buy anything, you get a literally big old box.
Yes.
So I've told her, like, if she wants to, like, make a jewelry, if she wants a tattoo, like, do whatever you want, and then throw my ashes in somewhere that you want to go to remember me.
Right.
Like, don't throw me where, it'll make you sad. Like, go throw me in, like, the ocean and be like, that's gonna be my yearly trip. I'm gonna go and hang out on the ocean with my mom. Like something like that. Like
So if
that
it's
is
like half your ashes, does that make you half in and half out?
half a ghost, not half, not a ghost. Like, I don't know. Like,
I
I
got
mean, I'll be
stories for that.
I'm sure you do.
Yes,
Oh
I
my
do.
gosh.
You have no idea.
I don't want to hear them. I'm not gonna sleep tonight
I
already.
have stories for that.
But it's finding that, because no matter what, death is sad, right? Somebody
Right.
could live to be 98 years old, have this amazing life, and it's still sad. There's still a sadness that comes over you. But then there's happiness too. I mean, and I have a perfect example. When I first moved up here, Ryan's grandpa was 95, or he was just days shy of his 95th birthday. and he had battled cancer for a long time. And the day I got my house keys for my house that I bought, he passed away. So it was like, okay, and he was in Utah and needed to go to California. So we ended up flying down there right after I had moved to go to the funeral to California. And mind you, I've only met his family like through a Zoom call. And I'm not even joking. Like I walked into his mom's house on Christmas, like because I flew in on Christmas afternoon and I walked into his mom's house and everybody's on Zoom. They're like, oh, hi, Thea. And I'm like, hi. And I don't
Hi.
know, like it wasn't awkward, but like it was still like COVID times and nobody was getting together. And then there was grandpa that everyone was worried about being around. And I was like, hi. So I'm meeting everybody for the first time and we're walking in the funeral. They're like, oh, hi, hugs, like so nice to meet you. So it's like, and then I sat down and I had only met his grandpa, I think 3 or 4 times. So, and then I'm like, they're telling these stories and I'm crying like I had been part of it. But then afterwards it was like, oh, okay, like let's all go have a drink for grandpa. Let's go do
Yeah.
this for grandpa. And that's where I think society has shifted with funerals, right? They're
Yeah.
like, you gotta make good out of it, celebrate their lives. There's more celebrations of lives than there is
It is. It's a
funerals.
celebration of life,
Yep.
a life that was well lived. Even if it was a life that they struggled, you're still honoring them because they didn't always struggle
Right.
and they weren't always lost. And now you get to tell what you couldn't tell then. And you can talk to them and they're hearing
Right.
and now they want to listen
Right. Your
to everything.
yours want to listen. I mean, I don't know who's all around you, but
I don't
they
know.
all want to listen, talk to you, open your doors, touch you.
Yeah.
That's
It's cool. To me, it's cool. But I don't have a choice. I live with it. It's either you like it or you don't. I don't have a choice.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I told you, if some of the things that happened to you have happened to me, I would be in a
Yeah.
mental institution, like licking walls because
Good
that's
walls.
scary.
It's not as scary as it seems. Because it no, and as you think it seems.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
freaked out what you told me and you're halfway around the country.
Yeah. But that's the beauty of it because I recognize that people still have things to say to people,
Right.
or they're watching over you.
Right.
And that's
Absolutely.
that's a difficult thing. It's difficult when they're gone because you didn't get to say goodbye.
Right.
You didn't get to have the conversation that you wanted to have.
Hmm.
You didn't get to have the dreams that you wanted to dream or the event of, see, we can work together
Right.
or all the firsts that happen, but
Mhm.
they're still there.
Yeah. They're still
They're just
present.
not physically, yeah, they're not
Hmm.
physically there anymore. You may or may not recognize signs from them,
Hmm.
but they're still there.
Yep.
And
I
that's the
know
important thing.
when Matt died, I begged my therapist. I'm like, why am I not feeling him? Like I've read all these things to feel him. And she told me, and this goes for everybody out there listening, that you have to do the work and heal to see and to feel
Yes.
his presence again. And I was like, no, what work do I have to do? He died. Like I should see and feel. But then once I did, and I started down that path, like it became very apparent, like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. He's been there. He is here. He still does things.
Yep. He's still watching over you.
Yep. Like
Might
when he
be an
likes,
end of watch on Earth, but it's never the end of watch.
no,
No.
never. They don't know
And
how to do that.
no, and that's why you celebrate it,
Yep.
life and them. And
Hmm.
that's where we're recognizing good because it's part of life. Death is part
Right.
of life. Um, Bad choices, unfortunately, are part of life. And we learn from them, we grow from them, and we're able to move forward and not only learn ourselves, but learn and help others
Yeah.
with what
And not
we've
just
learned.
bad choice. Yeah. Not just bad choices, but like mental struggles. Like, what is it?
Right.
1 in 3 struggle. I think maybe it's even 2 in 3 struggle with some form of mental health struggle.
Right.
So it's a form of life. Like you learn to grow with it and to heal and to work through yourself to move forward, because
Right.
you can always have mental health struggles, and some people will always have, you know, their diagnosis, quote unquote, but they can still have a happy and successful life.
Yes. Because nobody is always happy.
No. Mm-mm.
Nobody is always sad. Even in your saddest times, you're not always sad.
Yep, exactly.
If you stay in the dark too long, it feels like you're always sad.
Right.
When you recognize you're in the dark too long, find the light because it's just on the other side, or it's just around the corner.
That's the analogy. There is always a light at the end of the tunnel.
Or your ghost will open the door and show you.
Oh, yep. They'll knock on your head.
Yeah.
Talking to your ear, turn to the left.
Yes.
I love that you look to the left like you were waiting to see her again or what.
Like, yeah, like there, she's going to be right there. One day.
I hope I'm never on
it will be
podcast.
The voice and the body. One day.
Now knowing they travel with you too is just like, oh my gosh, I have to see you in a month.
When I nannied, I had nannied for a Major League Baseball player. We were traveling in Arizona, and I woke up and this little girl was right next to the bed, these little Shirley Temple curls. And like, I know that's not one of the kids. They have curly hair, yes, but not like that. But I closed my eyes and I opened them up again and she was gone. Then later, like 2 years later, I'm watching TV and haunted hotels came on.
And you were out at that hotel?
Yes. I can't remember the name of the hotel now, but yes. And I'm like, I mean, makes sense.
I avoid them. Like I love Yelp and stuff like that because it will flat out tell you this is haunted. All right, I'm not going there. Absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a sissy. It's okay. I don't care.
It's okay. It's okay. I got you.
Okay. No, I don't know. I don't know about this. I'm scared.
I'll protect you. It'll be good. Just plug your ears.
Close my eyes, plug my ears. La, 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 la. Go away, go away, go away.
And
go
don't
away.
worry, it was me touching your shoulder.
Okay.
I'm excited about it. I can't wait for Halloween to come around. I've got ideas now.
Oh, great. I'm going to be absent for Halloween.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I've got laryngitis.
And I can't see.
Yeah. And I've been blinded by the light.
There you go. That's the light at the end of the tunnel.
That's right.
You'll see it on November 1st, Christy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, finding the good in everything. Recognize the good even through your struggles.
Yes.
Laughter is healing. It's okay to fumble.
Yes.
Just keep moving forward.
Yes.
I saw something today. Moving forward is still moving. Moving slowly forward is still moving forward.
Yep.
Everybody has their own pace.
Mm-hmm.
You're not alone. We're here to listen. I will listen. I will talk. And I will be there when you need to share.
I got you.
That's right. Have a wonderful day. We will see you guys or hear you guys next week.
And don't let any ghosts scare you.
That's right. They don't. We are excited to be able to start our day with Badge Brew Coffee. Hey, Robin, did you know that Badge Brew has a new charitable badge collab roast?
Hey, Christy, I thought I heard that was going to happen.
Yeah, it's called First Response Roast with a spicy, smooth, medium roast with flavor notes of spice cake and citrus undertone.
Oh, that sounds amazing. And if that doesn't tempt our audience, a portion of the proceeds go to First Help. Oh, and don't forget, they're first responder family owned. Whether you're on day shift, night shift, or the shift of raising your family, Badge Brew has your coffee ready and waiting.
So let me ask you, what's your badge of honor? Find out by going to badgebrewcoffee.com and order yours. If you want the first response roast, click on Charitable Badge Collab. I know I am.